Welcome to what is now officially the start of what is officially the first of many sequels to follow onwards from Gran Turismo 1, as we of course are now doing the start of Gran Turismo 2. So I've already given all the details I need to give about this game, and so now of course we are going to head over to East City, where we of course are subsequently going to purchase our first car, because obviously there is also the return of the used car dealerships, and as far as I know with this game, like it was in GT1, it's only really the Japanese manufacturers that officially have used car dealerships available to them, and well, as with the others I think it's just new cars. So I did have a look around, and as you can see whilst I was just on the Toyota page, I had a look to see what cars were available to me, and eventually, in terms of my final decision, I eventually decided I was going to go with this. A 1991 Toyota Celica GTR. And obviously, yes, this is the two-wheel drive version, and also it's front-wheel drive. So, this is the car I'm going to get, mainly because I can get it for a reasonable price, and also because essentially it leaves me a reasonable amount of dosh to spend on upgrades. So as you can see by these icons, this one takes you back to the main page of simulation mode. This is the home page, the Go Race page, and obviously game status, where you can essentially check how much you've completed. So I've already purchased my car, that of course is obviously a Toyota, and of course we are now going to head over to our first and only event in this game, or only complete event in terms of races that does not require a license, and that of course is going to be this, or at least a license to officially complete the entire cup, and that is this, the Sunday Cup. So 3 races: Tahiti Road, High Speed Ring and Red Rock Valley. And of course we are officially going to head over to race 1, which is obviously Tahiti Road. And of course, before we get started with this, obviously just going to switch to analog mode, mainly because I am an analog gamer, and the one thing this game doesn't have, you know, obviously because they eventually had to remove it in the final minutes before this game was released, this game does not have qualifying, unfortunately. And also another thing that was notably removed from this game is opponents we are going up against, because obviously there are no details here that explain which opponents we are going up against. But anyways, let's head to race 1 at Tahiti Road, and hopefully if it's possible we can win on our first attempt. Let's see how we do. Hopefully not terribly. But I do empathise the word terribly. And looks like we've mostly got a field of key cars in this game, or at least in this race. And I would probably anticipate that I will win this race fairly easily. And braking early because I know precisely what mistakes, because I know precisely how the rubber banding with these AI is super strong if you make a mistake. And since I know very well this is only my first race in the game, I am bound to make mistakes. But again, because I have the advantage in terms of horsepower, hopefully if I don't make too many mistakes, I may be able to, you know, fucking win this one. Also, by the way, that bush is a wall. Pretty much. And also, the rubber banding in this game is definitely more superior than it was in GT1, or just about as superior, I should say, because these AI are keeping up with me pretty good. And I think that was just the Pajero that hit the wall and suddenly dropped to the back of the field when he was in second. And that's a wall. And of course, if you're asking about the field, also, by the way, we have a Toyota Yaris in this field as well. AKA the Toyota Vitz, if you live in America. And well, these AI at the moment are keeping up with me relatively well. As I can see, that is the Pajero all the way at the back. And well, I think that's a Suzuki Wagon R that's in third, behind the Vitz, but we'll just wait and see what the final results tend to be. As we now cross the line, it is victory in my first race of GT2. And so, in this race we had a Toyota Yaris, a Suzuki Wagon R, a Subaru Vivio, a Nissan Micra SR, also known as the Nissan March in the NTSC version, and a Mitsubishi Pajero Mini. Had eventually finished in last after he collided with the bush, which is basically a wall, but anyways. So there we go. That was race 1, and to me I would have probably said in the end a fairly easy W, but obviously also just getting our credits, and well, not going to save the replay just yet, but of course I will do eventually, you know, because obviously I need to get some clickbait. And hopefully, if it is possible, I will be able to get something reasonable. But of course, before we do that, because I would imagine... Oh, I did not want to go over there. Yeah, just ignore that, that was just me being stupid anyway. So we are going to return to Toyota, and we of course are going to do some tuning, because like with GT1, tuning in this game is rather crucial, if you want my honest opinion. So gonna put on the semi-racing exhaust, just because I want to be reasonable, and also as well as that, gonna put on the computer chip, and also whilst I'm at it I might as well put on a stage 1 engine tune just to give myself enough horsepower to be competitive for both races. And as a result of this tuning, which is crucial by the way in this game at some point, I am now officially filed for bankruptcy because I'm now down to only 16 credits. So going to return now to the race events, and now we can officially get on with race 2 of the Sunday Cup, which is High Speed Ring. And like the previous one, it will notably be 2 laps. So, here we go, race 2 at High Speed Ring. Considering most of the circuits from the original Gran Turismo have notably returned, of course, to this game, and they've also introduced a lot of new circuits in this game as well, including the first ever world circuit in this game, which I do believe, as far as I know, is Laguna Seca. I shall go into more details as I go along at High Speed Ring. And we've definitely got a more competitive field now. And I just made contact with the FTO. So we've got a Honda Integra in the field, another Toyota Celica, a Mitsubishi FTO, a Nissan 200 SX, and I think at the front that is a Nissan Silvia S13. As I'm trying to overtake around the outside but failing. As I now have the inside line, and literally having to force my way around into the lead. And I'm getting a push. I just got a push from the Silvia, as it is now the 200 SX that is currently leading this one by a quarter of a second. Because, well, with the rubber banding in this game for the AI, it is also meaning, of course, that these AI can also tend to be quite aggressive with the player, because if they essentially want to take you out of contention, they will absolutely do that. And I'm battling with the Integra, and shifting down to third a little early there through the corner, but still managing to hold on to the lead at the present time, even if the delta times are not showing that. I'm managing to fend off from this AI, and just as I said, tuning in this game is crucial, and it's essentially the only way you can officially remain competitive. As we now exit the final hairpin here at High Speed Ring, and crossing the line to a second win in a row with my Toyota Celica GTR. So in the field we notably had a Honda Integra Type R, a Nissan 200 SX Type X, a Nissan Silvia K's 2000cc, same here as my Celica, a Mitsubishi FTO GP version R, and at the back was essentially my younger breed of Celica, the Toyota Celica SS2. From what at the time was also notably the most recent model of the Celica. And also, as well as that, anyways, yeah, 4,000 credits for winning, and of course I am going to save the replay because I need some decent clickbait. Also, furthermore, I'm not sure if I have or haven't mentioned this, but the main reason on why the loading and the saving is faster in this one is because, well, like with GT1, I'm playing this on my PS3. Because notably overall, pretty much most of the PS1 games are compatible with the PS3 system, dependent on knowing if the system is old or new. And well, I of course am using a first gen PS3, which surprisingly I managed to order off eBay, but anyways. It is now time for the third and final race of the Sunday Cup, Red Rock Valley. Can we win on our first attempt? Probably not, but we shall wait and see if victory will be given to us within our grasp. And will I be able to do it first time? We shall wait and see, considering I now have 2 wins in a row. And will I win every race I do in this game? Absolutely not. But I believe it's possible I can win this one under similar circumstances to how I won at High Speed Rank. So we've got an Audi TT in this field, we've also got a Nissan Silvia. I think that's a Plymouth that's currently in third, even though he is being overtaken by the TT. And other contact made there on the banking. So we have a Mustang in the field as well, along with an Audi S4. And damn it. Who else is in the field? I think, as far as I know, the other car I can remember from this field is a Nissan Silvia. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think I've accounted for every car that is currently in this race, and if I haven't, then I'll just go fuck myself. But anyways. Yep, that is definitely a Silvia. Right there in red. And well, surprisingly overall with this game, in spite of pretty much production for this game pretty much being rushed to fuck, and yet somehow still being able to eventually become one of the most successful racing games ever made. It will probably surprise many of you with how amazing this game, even by today's standards, still is. And I just cut the corner, but that was through none of my own doing. I clearly cut the course on there because track limits. Well, looks like the Silvia's closing in with the Plymouth, maybe because both of them have got their own draft, and they're on the outside. And there was definitely some contact made there with the Mustang. I believe that is a Ford Mustang back there, as far as I know. And trying to keep it on the curbs. And this is going to be tight. This is probably going to be a close finish if I make a mistake, and it doesn't look like I have. Looks like it's the Plymouth that's currently in second now. We'll just wait to see what the finishing order is. Closing in, but I got it. I got this one. So 3 wins out of 3 for me, and 0 to the AI. And just as I predicted, we did have a Mustang in the field, and the gap itself with his AI from 1st to 6th was only just over 7/10. So in this field we had a Plymouth PT Spider, a Nissan Silvia Spacar Aero, for my correction, an Audi TT 1.8 Turbo Quattro, an Audi S3, and at the back we had Mustang GT. So already saved the replay, and the Sunday Cup is now complete. $5 for winning, and obviously yes, I am going to save the game. Just waiting for it to save. Shouldn't take too long. There we go. And now of course we are done with our first cup in Gran Turismo 2, the Sunday Cup. And also furthermore, this is the only event I can officially do that does not require me obtaining a license. And well, unfortunately with this game we don't obtain any prize cars from the special events like we did in GT1. So obviously, as you can see here, no prize cars unfortunately, but obviously I think it's mainly in the GT League events that we can obtain prize cars from winning races. But anyways, just gonna show you my game status now, as we are 1.36% complete. And of course, in terms of my overall fundings, I've now officially won $12,000. So that was the Sunday Cup, and next up will be the B license. Stay tuned for more GT2.